favorite site is xjtalk.com. It's where you go when you're not off-road.
This is Dan from the 4x4 Podcast, and you're listening to the XJ Talk Show.
Hey, welcome to the pre-show, guys. If you've been here before, you know how it works. We get on here, Josh and I talk a little bit and figure out just what the hell we're going to do on this show tonight. And you get to hear some of the things that's going on behind the scenes, as Josh would say, how the sausage is made. I never liked that, hearing that, but I think it always means something a little different to me.
My favorite site is xjtalk.com. It's where...
Little feedback there. So we'll be joined tonight from with one or maybe both. I think it's just one of the Full Metal Badge guys. We'll be doing a live interview tonight. It'll be one of our first times doing that, and look forward to doing that. And I look forward to telling you about this this cool product that is available. It's a Kickstarter right now, but. Get a neat little badge to go on your Jeep, like one of those trail rated badges. But this is real metal. They're pretty darn cool looking. It might be you do whatever you want to with it, but I think it's nice to go on a Jeep. But boy, I bet you'd make a great paperweight too. These things are huge and shiny metal, and who doesn't like shiny metal? All right, well, we're going to get back to the music here and wait for Josh to call in.
Yeah, there he is.
I didn't see you calling me. I've been talking to Chris here for the past 10 minutes or so, and I've been waiting to see the little thing pop up for you to call in. And I just noticed that it looked like you had tried a couple of times, or at least once.
Yeah, twice.
did not see it pop up. Well, let me bring Chris back on.
All right.
Hey, Chris. So I had to mute you because it was I had some feedback, I think, from your laptop. I think it was you may have the show being played on YouTube.
I did. I just realized, I'm like, where's that coming from? I had an open window, and so I closed it.
Yeah, that should take care of that. You'll be able to hear all the audio here through the Skype connection. I think I mentioned it in one of the emails that there is about a 30-second delay between when we say it and when it comes out on YouTube. So
yes,
that would drive you up the wall.
Yeah.
Be answering a question I asked 30 seconds ago.
Yeah.
So, Chris, this is Josh. Josh, this is Chris. Full
hey,
Metal
Josh.
Badge.
Hey, Chris, I was checking out your guys' website and the Kickstarter and everything, and boy, you guys got a pretty cool concept going on.
We're trying, man. We're trying.
Did you see my show notes? How Rob is his 3-minute, 37-second All Things Wrangler is about the Full Metal Badges?
Oh, is it really? No way.
Yeah. So I actually moved. That's what I was telling Chris. So I actually moved it up in front of the interview, which will move Chris back a little bit. But I think the only right thing to do is to have that. It's short, so it shouldn't be a big deal. But we'll stick that in front of Chris's interview, and then I think that'll actually mesh quite well.
I was going to say that'll make for a good segue.
Yep. I've always wanted to try writing a segue, but
yeah, end up on my face.
Nah, I think the stupid can. I was in DC and they were writing them, so the stupid can write them. Anybody can.
Yep.
You got a lot of light going on there tonight.
Yeah, I changed the bulb. In fact, I got rid of that horrible spotlight that I had and switched over to a compact fluorescent, which kind of illuminates more than it does spot. So it's I think it's not only cooler, but it also kind of broadcasts a little bit better of a light. So
I think it looks better. It's kind of yellow in there, but I think this might be the color of the room.
Well, yeah, and this behind me here is really probably adding a lot of that yellow to it as well. So
we have a green screen going to Josh's house tomorrow, so we'll be hopefully be doing some green screen on Josh's video here real soon, Chris.
yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, not that it matters to you. I mean, what the hell does that have to do with making badges?
All right, Tony. So show notes. Did you see I got the Memorial Day promo up in the Dropbox?
Yeah, and I was talking to Chris and trying to look at the same time, and we know I can't do two things at once. Where is that?
Oh, you would have to ask me that. Let's see. Where did I put that? That is in, let's see, XJ Talk Show promos, I think. Yeah. And it's called Memorial Day Tribute.
Ah, there it is. I was actually looking through that, so I was looking in the right place. It was just too many things to choose from.
So I've done the D-Day one, the anniversary of the Pearl Harbor, the Memorial Day one now, and I think I've got a couple others as well that I've done. I thought I had done a Memorial Day one, so it's a Labor Day, the D-Day, the Pearl Harbor one, and what are the other ones that I did? Dan Cole's deployment. That's a little bit different. But yeah, I did basically, everything except for a Memorial Day promo, at least one that I could find. But I said, screw it. I'll go ahead and just whip one up real quick.
Oh, by the way, I was telling Chris about all the crap I have to do over here with the audio board, the video board, and do the show. And I said, all Josh has to do is sit there and look pretty.
Yeah.
So truth in advertising, Chris. Josh does quite a bit of the promo type stuff. Mixes it and comes up with our little things that we play. I've done one or two, but
yes, it would seem you undersold his responsibilities.
Yes, and that's on purpose.
It's all good. We have a lot of fun.
It's a lot more fun when he's there to hear it, though.
Yeah. So let's see. I don't know if you wanted to mix that into the show, because I know we were kind of earlier in the week had talked about airing that as or with the midweek segment. But I didn't get that done in time, so I didn't know if you wanted to add it into the live show or in post.
No,
I'd like this.
I'd like to do it in a live show. In fact, let's start with it and then go into the disclaimer. Unless you got a better idea.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
Kind of a standalone type thing.
I know that you haven't had a chance to level it or anything like that, so if you want to cue that up and get a level on that real quick, it should be pretty close to. You shouldn't have to tweak it too much, anyways.
And you I don't know if you read the notes or not. I am ready with John's Radiocom Tech segment.
Yeah, I didn't see a time on that. Do you know roughly ballpark how long we got on that?
I don't. It's a video. Maybe I'll look here at the board. Let me grab this. What am I doing? Oh yeah, I'm looking for the Wrangler segment. We're already past 10.
Yeah.
You guys talk. I need to focus on finding stuff and putting it on the board.
So, Chris, your guys' operate. I'm not going to get too much into interview type questions or anything like that, but are you guys actually selling any of the badges yet?
We're not selling them yet. We did get like a bunch of the badass rated made, just kind of as proof of concept to figure out the kind of. It took us like a year to basically figure out how to get them made and manufactured. So we have one of our 5 designs done. But we haven't sold any of them yet because we're going to wait until we get through the Kickstarter. And then, depending on how that shakes out, then we'll put them on we've been trying to build a Shopify website in our spare time to kind of put them up. But
I'll say that. Heck, even Craigslist, you could probably sell off a few. But Etsy might be a good outsource for that as well.
Well, he probably doesn't want to compete. He probably don't want to compete with the Kickstarter. Is what I would think.
True.
Yeah, I guess the initial thought was just run the Kickstarter at last 30 days, and then from there. I like the Etsy idea. I just bought my daughter a little thing for her birthday off of Etsy, and I was like, maybe we should just use Etsy. So it's on the list of things to check out.
Oh, here we go, Josh. It's 4 minutes and 2 seconds long.
Okay, perfect.
And remember, it's a video, so it's just like a slideshow, so it shouldn't be. We shouldn't need to describe anything. It should just be able to play, but I'll be playing it from the video board.
Okay.
And I got to remember to start the audio before we are 10 minutes into the show.
Oh, yeah, the video.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We had audio. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so show notes. Okay, so we're sending video, audio. We got people watching, and Chris is on the line. Chris, I'm going to mute you now. And as I was telling you earlier, right after the All Things Wrangler segment, we'll Josh and I'll start talking about having you on the interview and doing the interview with you live, and then we'll go to you. I'll probably unmute you about the time that Josh and I are starting to talk about you. So just hang loose and hopefully enjoy the show, and we'll get you in. We'll spend 5 or 10 minutes, whatever feels right, with you. And Josh, did you get his email that he sent with all that information?
I believe so. Yes. Yes, I did.
I actually need to pull that up. Hey guys, thanks for being here for the pre-show. We're running a little late. I know you never hear that. But I'm just getting the last little bit of information up here ready so we can get going. I think I've got everything on the board. We're just going to be doing the Wrangler segment, the John's Radiocom Tech, and I didn't get any information about teasing the interview. Did you grab any of that information?
I did not. I'm sorry.
So I'll need to grab that so we can tease that.
Let's put that in. You want to do that in the show wrap-up? Or you want to do that right before and then roll into the wrap-up, the standard wrap-up?
I think it'd be good to tease it a little more than that.
All right. I figured, we teased that. We are going to be doing Amazon You Bought What next week. I don't think we've got anything else that's reoccurring anyways.
Yeah, I think I put it in the show notes around in the chit-chat area for us to mention that, to tease the interview.
Next week with Go Fast XJ. Okay, there it is. Yeah.
And Chris, if you haven't figured out, I already have you muted. So if you're talking and we're ignoring you, it's not because we can hear you.
Is this the same, the Go Fast XJ? Is that the same as XJR Racing or Team XJR?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah,
I'm having a brain fart. I cannot remember the gentleman's name.
I cannot remember his name either.
So that's why I gotta pull it up here real quick so we can speak somewhat intelligently. Good Lord, Chris, use some small text on this email.
Yeah, and it fit a lot of information in there.
Yeah.
You got me squint.
So I think it is in this email. So I've got the ball joint removal and installation rough edited. So
cool.
It's about 19 minutes long, and I've got to cut that down. So, but like I said, that's the rough edit. The fine edit will chop up some of that stuff pretty short and jump through it. I was thinking about doing a change your ball joints in 5 minutes or less.
Like you did the dash removal video.
Right. I have never received so many hateful comments on YouTube than I did with the 5-minute dash of removal, because people actually thought you could do it without C4.
Yeah. Jeez.
I'll never watch your YouTube channel again. How dare you? It's a joke, man. Nobody could do it in 5 minutes. Come on. Yeah, maybe I'll do that because I'll be able to I have the whole video and I can just forward it through there, and I'll put a disclaimer up. It's a joke. You can't really do that. It's called good advertising. When you put something out there that's wild, people go, "Oh, really? Maybe?" No, it's got to be a joke. I got to see that, Jeez.
Hey, real quick, the spot in the reviews section where we're talking about some numbers, I'm going to kind of veg that up a little bit. Just for the sake of making things sound
sure,
a little bit bigger.
Always works with the girls.
Just gonna fluff this up a little bit.
My mechanic told me what a fluffer was in the adult rated films. He was calling his one of his employees a fluffer. And I was like, okay, what is that? Like a bunny something or another? And then he had explained it to me. I was like, oh, well, that's not a very pleasant thing at all, is it?
Well, it depends on what side of the fence you're on, I guess.
I don't think that would be pleasant for anyone because it's a job related thing. My email is not coming up. Come on. Oh, but it was already running. Can't talk and think at the same time. So, the guys that are sitting there waiting for this show to start,
hang tight, guys. We're almost there.
Yeah, we will be doing live calls tonight. At least that's the plan. We've got Chris on the Skype connection that we normally use for the live call-ins. So when we get done with Chris, I will find hopefully an opportune moment to sneak over to the laptop and get the call-in line set up. We'll have a little banner scrolling across the bottom of the screen. So if you were trying to call in and you can't, that's why. It's not because we're not going to have it. It just means we're just using that for something else right now because we're poor. And we're damn lucky that we can actually do as much as we're doing, right, Josh?
Yeah, it's for dang sure.
Yeah, and to that end, I think we need to plug the. We're just a couple of guys with Jeeps type thing. I don't want people thinking we're professionals here. We haven't done that in a while.
Yeah, let's. We'll do that. We'll do that as we roll into the chit chat. Yeah.
Oh, sure.
Okay.
We'll do it in chit chat if you want to.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking.
I'm going to plug the video that I'm doing. You see that in the chit chat where I talk about the ball joints. I'm not going to do a lot of talking about them because I'm just going to use that to plug subscribing on YouTube. I think
let the video do all the talking.
Yeah, I think we're at 513 now on the YouTube subscribers. I don't know if you had put filled in any of those 4 spots or not. I didn't.
Yeah, I put the names in there, but I didn't update. What do you say? 513, 514?
Yeah, let's go with 513.
Okay.
I know several places I can find this, but I'm just trying to do it and find it in my email.
Well, what was it? Episode 129, 128, that it was the voicemail where we had him on?
Yeah, I think so.
So let me just go back to the show notes and look at the last couple voicemails that we did.
It was a really interesting interview. I hate it when I forget people's names.
No, that's just 2 from Nikki G, so it wasn't 129. Was it clear back in 127?
I don't think so. Oh, there's probably nothing in show notes about that.
Was his name Jesse?
I think so.
We got K2. Jesse, Nikki G, and K2 and 128.
Wow. 10-16. Here we go again. Sorry, Chris. Well, I'll just blame myself for not doing proper preparation for the show. We'll run the interview next week. I wanted to tease it tonight. Maybe I can.
I mean, if nothing else, you can add a quick tease in post.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
All right.
All right, so let me bring this up and see how it sounds. Oh, we needed to look at the Memorial Day thing.
Oh yeah,
real quick.
It's taps for a few seconds. So
did you do that yourself? That's lovely work. Is that armpit type thing?
For many of us, Memorial Day holds a very special place in our hearts, where the men and women.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. That's plenty loud.
Perfect.
Okay, so we'll play that. We'll go into the disclaimer and
you got the opener loaded up, yeah?
Yep, I do. That was the other thing I wanted to check real quick. Okay, let's get this road on the show.
All right. For many of us, Memorial Day holds a very special place in our hearts, where the men and women who so bravely fought and died while serving in the United States Armed Forces are remembered. Their memory is raised by the living, who resolve not to let their sacrifice be in vain, but to rise up in their stead and continue the fight for freedom, liberty, and justice for all. This Memorial Day, please join us here at the XJ Talk Show in remembering those who made the ultimate sacrifice for each and every one of us, so that each and every day we may continue to enjoy our freedoms.
The XJ Talk Show is for entertainment purposes only. Any advice or information provided on this show should be verified by alternative sources prior to making any changes or modifications to your vehicle. We are not experts, just people that enjoy the Jeep hobby and don't mind talking endlessly about it. P.S. We love you.
We interrupt this broadcast for a live XJ Talk Show news break. New report says starvation can lead to health hazards. And we find out what happened to the man who smoked a pipe bomb. All this coming up right after the show.
Today's podcast brought to you by Audible.com. Over 150,000 titles to choose from for your iPhone, Android, Kindle, or your MP3 player. Get a free audiobook download and a 30-day free trial over at www.audibletrial.com/XJTalkShow.
XJ Talk Show is on the air. Okay, it's a podcast. Oh, you know what I mean. Anyway, here's Tony and Josh.
Hey, it's episode 130. Josh, we're out of those pesky 120s. I'm really happy about that.
Yeah, just climbing those numbers, man. It seems like 200 is right on the episode, or right on the horizon.
It seems like it, but if you do the math, that's quite a ways away. What is that, like 2 years?
Well, it just seems like we were doing episode 100 just a few weeks ago.
I was looking at something. I was looking through some things for midweek, our midweek fix, and I couldn't believe that some of the past interviews that we've done were in the 80s. I mean, it's like forever from between there to now. Hey,
ancient.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, my name's Tony. You know me as Motoroy on xjtalk.com, and of course, xjtalk.com is why we're here. And of course, you know my buddy here, Josh, my co-host.
I'm known as NW99XJ or Northwest 99XJ, and you can find me over at xjtalk.com as well.
You find him over there a lot more than you do me these days, unfortunately.
Oh, yeah. We got all kinds of builds, all kinds of tech, all kinds of good stuff. And don't forget our chat, which you can join in every day, and you can say hi to me just about any day of the week. Well, Monday through Friday, at least.
Yep. Oh, well, I'm not sure, but maybe it's time. This is the XJ Talk Show, a podcast about Jeep Cherokees, off-roading, and the tech that you need to get you there and back. We're here to promote the web's most premier website for all that is Jeep Cherokee, xjtalk.com, the friendliest and most helpful Jeep site on the web. xjtalk.com encourages and answers all the questions and concerns that the first-time XJ owner typically have without the flaming or criticism, while giving you the best, most in-depth articles and write-ups for the repairs and modifications that take your average XJ to the next level. Now get ready. It's the XJ Talk Show, and it starts right now. Technically, I think it's already started.
First Week in Jeep.
Light sour cream, Crystal Light, Flashlight, and Wrangler Light. What do these things have to do with one another, and what connects all these things into one cohesive Jeep story? Well, I'm glad you asked, but I don't have an answer for you. What I do have an answer for is how Jeep plans to hit its corporate average fuel economy goals for 2018. Dude, that's 4 years away. Well, no time like the present, right? Now, I reported many episodes back that the Wrangler was going to have to shed some weight over the coming years, and the Jeep was looking at several different options to do this. One of which that has everyone running for the TJs and JKs, and that's ditching the solid live axles in favor of a lighter four-wheel independent suspension. Yeah, I know. Just wait a minute. Now, for now, though, Jeep has turned into a lightweight metal. We're all familiar with this metal. It's tinfoil. No, okay, I'm just kidding. It's aluminum. Now, not nearly as risque, but certainly a lot safer in traffic, at least. Aluminum, or the other white metal as it's known by no one anywhere, is no stranger to the new auto market. Ford, in fact, is using a lot of it in its rollout of the new F-150 pickup, which Chrysler Corporation's CEO Sergio Marchionne is going to be watching very carefully to gauge market acceptance. If it flops, you can bet the Wrangler is not likely to see solid axles ever again. Not without some serious modifications anyways. Now, is this going to set a precedent? No. In fact, when asked if the lightweight metal has any uses in the manufacturer's lineup beyond the Wrangler, Marchionne said very distinctly, no. Now, Jeep engineers have already been working for months on the next generation Wrangler, trying to shed weight and add room for potential powertrain options like an 8-speed automatic transmission and, wait for it, a diesel engine. That's right, we've been saying it for years, guys. If you build a diesel, they will come. And by they, I mean fuel economy numbers and torque gains by leaps and bounds. You know, the important stuff. In any case, the final design for the next-gen Wrangler is nearly done, or at least it should be done, as back in January, Marchionne said that they should have a concept ready by spring 2014. And last time I looked at the calendar, that's right about now. Now, there's a Jeep Willys out there that even General Patton would be proud of. As if we need another reason to love classic Jeeps, one dedicated Willys Jeep owner turned his into a street racer that's capable of taking on a 950 horsepower heavily modified Nissan GTR. With a formidable 750 horsepower on hand, this Jeep may look all vintage from the outside, that is with the exception of the wheels and tires, but under the hood lays a 4.8-liter LSX truck engine with a very aggressive cam and aided by 16 pounds of boost from an olive drab D1 ProCharger supercharger. Oh yeah, it's also got NOS, 240 shot of nitrous oxide to be exact. It's an absolute sleeping monster. And when this thing wakes up and barks, it grabs a super slab with its Mickey Thompson drag radials and pulls wheel stands, the likes of which we've only seen on the trails. Oh, and did I mention it also runs on 93 octane pump gas? All told, this American classic weighs just 2,000 pounds. Can you guys imagine the power to weight ratio of this thing? And no, the owner didn't even install seatbelts. You know, just to keep things a little more interesting. If you'd like to see one of a kind Jeep Willys in action, head over to youtube.com and do a search for Jeep Willys GTR. And if you'd like to submit a story to be aired on This Week in Jeep or have a response to any one of the stories that I've said here on This Week in Jeep, please send an email to newstips@xjtalk.com.
We're going to need to get somebody there on standby to throw some water on you when you get heated up. And that was very nicely done. Thank you.
Thank you.
Seriously, it was very good.
This is Dan from the 4x4 podcast, and you're listening to the XJ Talk Show.
xjtalk.com is where you go when you're not off-road. And now you can go to xjtalk.com when you're off-road too. Using your smartphone, install the Tap a Talk app, then search for XJ Talk. Take XJ Talk with you wherever you go. Jury duty, dinner with your spouse's parents, even, well, anywhere you need your XJ Talk fix. You already know about XJ Talk on Facebook, Twitter, and Google+. But did you know we're on YouTube as well? We have off and on-road adventures, how-tos for fixing or augmenting your Jeep. Besides, man cannot live by sound alone, right? Come see what we got at youtube.com/user/XJTalk. Don't forget to subscribe and make comments on our videos.
xjtalk.com. It's where you go when you're not off-road.
Well, we have a Wrangler segment tonight, a all things Wrangler segment by Rob Spencer, and it was pretty funny because it's almost like we're working together as a well-oiled machine, Josh.
Well, as some people have said, it's almost like we know what we're doing around here.
If it isn't by design, it's luck, and
Yes.
it's luck. So anyway. Rob actually talks about the full metal badge guys. I think you guys are going to be interested in this product. It's pretty cool. And, you know, once you get your Jeep done, it never happens. you always like doing little things to it to make it stand out, because that's one of the things that we like about modifications, isn't it? It makes our Jeep just a little bit different than everybody else's. And we'll listen to what Rob has to say about the full... I'm going to mess it up. The full, is it metal?
Yep, full metal badges.
There we go.
Let's
Thank
hear Rob's own words.
Wow, that's interesting.
He's awfully quiet this week.
Hey guys, I'm Rob from CoolGuyStuff.tv, and you are listening to another segment of All Things Wrangler. So today I have something a little different than normal. This is a startup company that's actually doing a Kickstarter campaign as we speak, trying to raise enough funds to bring these things to market. So go over to Kickstarter.com, search for Full Metal Badges, and their campaign will come up. You'll see exactly what they do and the designs that they're going to offer. And if you can pledge to them, that would be great. And what I'm talking about is we all have the trail-rated badges on our cars by now, right? I mean, they've been out for several years now. So I think I'm 2, maybe 3 Jeeps in to when those things started. Anyways, so trail-rated badges, they're on the side of your car. They look really cool, and everybody loves them. And these guys here and this company, Full Metal Badges, got together, and they decided to make aftermarket badges just like that. So they sent me out a couple. And the ones I have are a little bit bigger than the trail rated, and they're made out of a die-cast metal with a 3M backing. And just so you guys know, that 3M two-sided tape backing is what they use on all the car stuff, you know, so it's not going to come off. It's also, because it's not going to come off, also make sure you know where you want to put it when you put it there, because it is on. This thing is really heavy duty. I was very impressed with it out of the envelope. So I get the envelope in the mail today. And I pick it up. It's pretty heavy. I go, cool. I open it up. A couple of these fall out, along with a couple vinyl stickers that say Full Metal Badges on them, with a little letter kind of breaking down the company and what they do and what they want to do. So I was very impressed with that first out of the envelope experience. I can't wait to get this thing on my car. I want to take it out and power wash the heck out of it and get it on the wind and bounce it around on some trails and, you know, do all the things that Jeep people do to make sure this thing holds up. And I'm also putting out a review on it. So you can see more pictures of it on my website at coolguystuff.tv later on today. But you could go into any search menu and you could Google Full Metal badges, and these things come up like crazy. And I think actually you could do that, and you can see there are other designs that they intend on bringing to market as well. The one that I have is the one with the skull and the wings on it with the 4x4 grill. So the skull has skeletons. They have their jawline, they have the teeth and all that. Well, this one's a little 4x4 in there. It's kind of a cool little extra that you almost miss if you're not really looking at it. It's very cool. I like it. And then again, mine says badass rated, kind of spoofing on the trail rated of the original manufacturer emblems. Check them out. Again, go to their Kickstarter, and if you like what they're doing, please add, because the only way that we can get cool new ideas and products to market sometimes is by supporting them ourselves. So I know I'm going to, and I hope that you guys join me in that. If you want a full review, go to my website later, coolguystuff.tv, and it will be up. And remember, these things aren't just for Wranglers. These things will look great on your XJs as well, guys. So go ahead and check them out on Kickstarter. Check me out on coolguystuff.tv. And until next week, guys, thanks for listening.
Hey, that's great. Thank you, Rob. And again, it was pretty cool that we were able to get get on the firing on the same cylinders here. And what I'm talking about is, if you weren't in the pre-show, we actually have Chris from Full Metal Badges here, live interview, one of our first times to do a live interview. And Chris, you should be ready to go. Thank you for being on the show.
Happy to be here.
So, Chris, how did y'all come up with this idea? I mean, it's a cool idea. You see these plastic badges on the Wranglers and whatnot, but a nice metal badge. What was the emphasis for emphasis for coming up with this?
I guess my partner and I, David, are just like you, two guys that own Jeeps. We work in advertising by day, but we get a little bit of free time now and then, and we were just thinking, what could we make that we could stick on our Jeeps? And we sit there going through the Quadratech catalog or whatever. There's pretty much anything on your Jeep can be completely upgraded or improved upon, except that little badge, which we felt like was just a little bit tiny, and a little bit small, and a little bit not awesome enough for our Jeeps. And so that's sort of where it came from.
I like that. That's exactly what it should be. That's the direction you should go, not badass enough. That's great.
Yeah.
I was going to say, just as a lot of the factory OEM stuff is on Jeeps, it's just not awesome enough. So yeah, I know that was JCR. I think they've got a sticker that kind of emulates that. But again, I think it's just a sticker, and it's mall rated instead of trail rated. For all those mall crawlers out there. So this is definitely taking things to the next level. And I've checked out the Kickstarter campaign that you guys have going to really get things moving and whatnot. And man, this really is some cool stuff, guys. For those of you out there that are listening right now, you have to go check this out. Go find there's videos all over the internet of some of their concepts, and really the badass rated one is by far my personal favorite. Now, Chris, how are these things made? Because they look like they're pretty heavy duty.
Yeah, they're die cast. We spent a year trying to figure out how to get them made in the badassest way possible, and we finally found a company that would die cast them for us, and then it's which allows us to kind of have tons of detail in all the eyes of the skull and the little kind of flames that are on it, and all the type. And so because they're metal and because we design them ourselves, we make them they're thicker than the trail rated badge. They're heavier, they're bigger. They just feel like, you threw off that shitty plastic bumper you got with your Jeep and you put a nice metal one on there. It's sort of the same thing for your badge.
So when you say die cast, it is literally hot and molten metal poured into a mold or a die that forms
exactly,
this.
Yeah, and it gives it has the tightest tolerances. So rather than kind of using a lower quality spin casting or wax casting, you can actually get all of the kind of detail that you want when you for something that you want to actually stick on your car.
So, Chris, I work with a machine shop. I'm an engineer by trade. I'm kind of surprised you guys didn't go with a CNC version or something like that. Did that cross your mind at all?
It's funny, yeah. We our original prototype is an aluminum piece of billet aluminum CNC, but super expensive to make.
Nah.
And then when we got down to the tolerances for the type, we found that like we did an original one that was just a skull, which turned out really cool. But when we started figuring that we wanted to write on these, and it just the CNC guys were like, you can make you one for $200 a unit. If you want to do, 10,000 units, we can get it down to, $150 a unit. It's just impossible to, at least from what we could find, make it happen.
Yeah, really.
That's amazing. So whenever they do the die cast, once it's out, I guess they brush it to give it a nice brushed look on the front.
Yeah, we went for like a brushed aluminum finish. And if you watch the video or you see it online, like I think they come across a little bit lighter and more silver in person than they actually do in our Kickstarter video, where they look the color looks a little bit different. But yeah, then they have a kind of this almost metallic backing or background that the type and design sits on. But yeah, we were really stoked on how they turned out. We were just amazed that like we could take something that we designed on our little computer and have it made into an actual physical thing. It's pretty cool.
Hey, what was it like whenever you got your first one in and you were able to hold it in your hands? I imagine that was a bit of a moment to you to going from virtual to real.
Yeah, you just basically want to run down to your Jeep and stick it on your car. Stick it on your ride and then like drive along and see if people will notice it.
That brings me to my next question, Chris. Is I was going to ask if you and Dave each had one on your Jeep already.
Yeah, I've had one on my Jeep now for a couple months, and I've had the prototypes on. And but when we got these ones made, I popped that one off and put this one on. And I actually had the other day someone pull alongside me on the freeway and started like kind of following me right on the side, and I was getting a little freaked out. And I looked out my window, and it was this like 20-year-old girl, and she was pointing at the badge, and then she was giving me the thumbs up as we were trying not to crash going down the freeway. And I was like, wow, someone really noticed. It was cool.
So let me ask you, when she was pointing at the badge, wasn't there just a portion of you that was concerned that it was coming off? It was going to go into traffic?
No, I mean, that has this, we made sure we got this 3M automotive tape, and that stuff, that I'm not worried about the badge coming off. I was initially worried when I felt how heavy it was, but once I stuck that on the Jeep, it's not going anywhere.
Well, see, I can imagine that would be a concern for some of the folks, especially some of the hardcore wheelers out there. They're concerned that not only may it injure somebody, but more importantly, they may lose it. So
I put one on a piece of wood to make a little display, which has a trail rated badge on the left and a badass rated badge on the right, so you can kind of see them side by side. And I tried to pull it off of the wood the other day, and it just looked at me and laughed. So
the image that Chris is talking about, guys, if you just go to Google and type in Full Metal Badges, Jeep, you're going to see exactly what he's talking about there. It's like the second image. The very first image you're going to see is the badass rated. It's a nice close-up version picture there of the badass rated badge, which it really is a work of art. Chris, you guys have done an amazing job on that one alone. You've got some other designs in the works too. Can you talk a little bit about those?
Yeah, well, we have a skull, which we think is just like, who doesn't like a good skull? It's just a straight up evil looking skull that would look good on any Jeep, so especially a black on black. But then we have another one that is we call In Dirt I Trust, which is just another little saying we've heard from people, and we kind of thought that would make a cool badge. We have a big placard badge, which is kind of in the vein of the kind of Jeep special editions, like the Call of Duty, only this one's kind of cool. It's called Zombie Stomper, and it's got a big like tire tread with a smashed skull in the middle of it. And then
nice.
I think the last one we have that we're trying to get funding for is a biohazard design. So lots of cool kind of interesting, very graphic designs for badges. And then we've got ideas for so many more. I wish we had an unlimited checkbook. We could just make hundreds of them.
Well, now, Chris, you've mentioned Biohazard, Zombie, and Skull. The only thing I haven't heard in there is bacon.
Jeez.
Bacon would be awesome.
See, you're laughing at me, Josh, but that's one of the key words that people just key off of. It's like bacon.
Just a couple of bacon strips with tread tracks
bacon
across them or something. Yeah.
No, I think you're going the right direction. But zombies are hot. Bacon's always hot. Some people hate it. Most people love it. Yeah, that's great. Now, who's the artist between you two guys, or do you outsource that?
No, David's an art director and I'm a writer. And so David handles the designs. We both kind of search for things that we think are interesting and kind of cool. Like conceptually, we really wanted to do some kind of zombie badge because it just felt like it was kind of popular, but it was just kind of cool. Like I watch a lot of The Walking Dead, and I do really think like, look, if this ever goes down, the first thing I'm going to do is grab the keys to my Jeep because that's the thing I'm going to want to have first.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
And,
of course.
So David fine-tunes the designs, and we have a guy who helps us take the 2D work and put it into a CAD file so we can get them manufactured.
So I got to ask now, you've only had a prototype or, your first concepts on the Jeep for a couple months, you said. When did this first, really come to fruition?
It was like probably last year around February or March. David and I were doing a job together, and we were sitting around. We had some free time, and we were like, "What are we gonna make for these Jeeps?" And we actually thought about making an insert for the "oh shit" bar in the Wrangler because it says what does it say? It says like since 1941, but it was like really plasticky, and we were like, how cool would it be to pop that thing off and have it made of like billet aluminum and have it really say "oh shit" or have it say something cool on it, and then we tried to figure out how to make it, and the part was like way too complicated and way too. I just think we couldn't figure out how to reverse engineer it, and so we decided like, well, what could we do that was within our abilities, and that's when we started cooking up these badges.
So I'm going to nerd out a bit on you. If you're a Star Trek fan, one of the things that you noticed about the new Enterprise, and I'm talking about several movies ago, not the reboot, was it's dark in space. So they actually show little lights that highlight the what do you call it, the serial number or whatever of the Starship Enterprise. Now, have you thought about any LED lighting for your badges?
I have not thought about LED lighting. We thought about like different colors. We did, it's kind of strange, but the Nike released a set of shoes last year that were like basically if they got hit with light, they would glow in the dark. Like but they would light up so that you wouldn't even know it was a shoe. It looked like you were wearing two things that were on fire on your feet. And we thought about looking at getting a coating on a limited edition set of these that would kind of, when they got hit with light, that they would like just blow out and totally glow. So that's one of the things we have in the back of our heads.
That's pretty cool. Now probably not the best thing for the zombie, but you don't want to call attention to yourself.
You want to stay quiet and low profile.
Well, now off the air, Chris, you mentioned something that you guys also have in the works, and you kind of alluded to that a little bit with, wishing you had an open checkbook and just being able to, pump all these ideas out and stuff. You mentioned something along the lines of like a Jeep Wave idea and maybe even, trails that people have conquered and stuff like that. I'm guessing like the Moab or Rubicon, things like that. Do you guys have any conceptual drawings of those or anything like that?
Well, we have a bunch of references, like a big book of reference and things like the Hammers and Moab, like you mentioned, and the Rubicon, and there's but there's a whole bunch of trails, and we thought like we love the idea of these kind of the badges we designed are all kind of 3 inches with the exception of the Zombie Stomper, but we like the idea of making smaller ones that you could collect for all of the trails that you've done on your Jeep, and then you could kind of put them on the back of your Jeep and and go beyond just the kind of replacing your trail rated badge, so that you could kind of collect them. Now, I don't know about you.
Yeah, now this is an XJ, primarily an XJ show. These badges should work just fine on an XJ because, the trail rated badges you normally see on Wranglers, Liberties, and so on and so forth. But they should fit on a Cherokee, right?
They fit just fine on a Cherokee. I thought about putting one on a golf cart, just because I had a friend who had his own, his dad's golf cart had these kind of like burly mag wheels. I don't know where he got them, and I thought, you could sell him a badge.
Hell yeah. Now you mentioned open checkbook. I just want to make sure that we get in here and talk a little bit where people can actually jump in and help make this thing happen. The Kickstarter angle of this thing. Can you tell us a little bit about Kickstarter, especially for those people that may not be familiar with what Kickstarter is?
Yeah, Kickstarter is just it's a crowdfunding website where people can go, and in exchange for money, you can buy products that will you can back us, is what you're called, a backer, and then you can pick any one of the 5 badges that you like. But we've also got things like T-shirts and hats, and there's some more ridiculous prizes. It's in a weird way, instead of like funding a company, you actually back a company, and in exchange you get some type of reward. And so many of the rewards are the badges, but there's also other things like cool hoodie sweatshirts and Full Metal Badges hats. I think we're actually going to do a Full Metal Badges full body tattoo. That's the size of your chest, because we want to get people taking photos of that. I don't know if anyone will actually do that, but it's an idea.
And I hope she's pretty.
Yeah, I was just going to say.
Trying to be obvious, but
so Chris, your guys' tagline is hardware for the hardcore. And
right.
I think that is very original, very unique, and I think it definitely describes what you guys are doing and certainly what you guys are producing quite well. Now you guys are all over the internet. I mean, you're on Kickstarter. There's all kinds of social media. If people wanted to, I've already told people, if you guys want to check out images of this stuff, just Google it. They're all over the place. But you guys are, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest. The whole 9 yards. Where can people go to go check out some of this stuff? And obviously, where can they go to help support what you're doing here?
Support us at the Kickstarter, and I'm on Twitter all the time trying to run people down, hook them up with the links, and you can always email me directly at Ford, which is my last name, ironically, at Full Metal Badges.
That's Ford at Full Metal Badges. Twitter is at Full Metal Badges as well. You guys are on Facebook. I would imagine that's also Full Metal Badges, yes?
Yes, it's all Full Metal Badges everywhere you go.
Oh, my God, he's even on Pinterest. I wonder if my wife is looking at these things.
It's like recipes and metal badges.
And badass badges. That's, yeah.
Badass badges.
Now, you mentioned Kickstarter earlier. What are the different levels? Which are the best ones to get in on? Because XJ Talk's got to get in on a little of this stuff, like the rest of you guys should.
Well, all the badges are priced like below where they're going to price out retail, and then of course, if you buy a set, then it's an even bigger discount. And then I think we've got ridiculous rewards on there for people who've just won the lottery, where David and I will fly out to your house with a full set of badges, and we will mount them anywhere on your car you would like, while we make you a giant barbecue and feed you beers. So there's really, you can start with as little as $20 and spend as much as you want.
And I am filling out this post-dated check as we speak.
Don't cash this until 2068. So I'm going to go a little bit further out on the limb here. Josh and I have talked about doing a Kickstarter where we buy one of the new Jeep Cherokees, the 2014 Jeep Cherokees, and not even drive it, have it towed someplace, and then crush it. Do you think Kickstarter? You think we could get $30,000 or whatever it is for one of those trail-rated 2014 Cherokees? I know you have some past experience with Kickstarter. You think could we do that? I think it'd be a blast.
I think you probably could. I just saw a meme the other day, and it was a photo of the new Cherokee, and it was surrounded by like 12 Wranglers, and the meme said, "You're in the wrong neighborhood."
That's great. I have not seen that one.
Oh, I love it.
It's good.
Well, Chris, I want to thank you a lot for being here, and it's very interesting. Really caught my eye. Chris, or Full Metal Badges, actually friended XJ Talk on Twitter, and that's how I knew about it. And that's another reason why I was surprised that Rob was aware of it. But he may have told you guys about us, and that's why you friended this. I don't know, but for whatever reason, glad you did it. Oh, and also, too, thank you for taking the time to show how a full metal badge of the xjtalk.com logo would look. I really appreciate that. I misunderstood that when I requested. I thought you guys were going to be making all kinds of badges and not just certain ones, and those were the ones you're going to be selling initially. So, it would have been a lot. I'm in IT, so it would have been a lot easier as an IT guy to go, we don't do that. But you took the time to lay that out, and I really appreciate it.
Sure, you're welcome. And I'm super stoked you guys had me on. It's we're super happy to be here and just happy to talk about it.
So you guys get over to Kickstarter and join in. I'm sorry, Josh, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, Chris, as things develop and you guys, you start getting a little more successful, you start getting more concepts and stuff, we're definitely going to have you back on the show. And I really wish you the best of luck getting that Kickstarter campaign goal and hitting those numbers. Once again, guys, Kickstarter campaign, Full Metal Badges, Kickstarter.com, Full Metal Badges. Check these guys out. They're doing some really cool stuff. Really want you guys to go out there and support these guys. Chris, how long do you guys have left on the Kickstarter campaign?
We've got about 12 days. It goes through June 4th. So
not a whole lot of time left, guys. So you're listening to this right now. You got to head over there and check it out. Make sure you reach out to these guys. Friend them on Facebook. Check them out on Twitter. We're, of course, going to have all the links that you guys can get to Full Metal Badges, how you can support them, and how you can hook up with them on our show notes and over at xjtalkshow.com.
Thanks again, Chris. And I'm not kidding. You can count on XJ Talk for some support. We'll go over there and have a look, and we'll find something to buy in on. I appreciate it, and good luck. And like Josh says, we'd like to hear back from you how everything goes.
Awesome. Thank you guys very much.
Thank you.
And now we do our little YouTube subscriber segment, and this is a thinly veiled attempt to get you to subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can hear your name read during this segment.
Yep, we got new subscribers added to the list every week. We only pick 4 of them, and if you guys have added your name to the list recently or in the recent past, you haven't heard your name yet, well, just sit tight. We'll get to it eventually. Number 1 on the list today, in no particular order, is Gadog420.
Oh, I would have gone with Gag Dog, but I think what you did was much better. Number 2 is Overland Odyssey.
Hey, that sounds pretty cool.
Yeah.
3 is Paul Berry.
And then we're rounding out with Eric Lip. We have a total of 513 subscribers, and it may be 1,200 by now, Josh. I didn't look in the last 15 minutes.
Yeah, I haven't looked in a little while myself either. That list does keep growing every week, and we appreciate your guys' subscriptions. Make sure you're telling a friend, and if you haven't subscribed already, I'll do so right now. Hey, this part of the XJ Talk Show is brought to you by Audible.com. If you like podcasts, well, there's a good chance you're going to like audiobooks too, especially if you're busy like Tony and I are. You don't have time for all those pesky things with the pages and the words in them and stuff like that. Audible.com has over 150,000 titles of just about anything you could possibly imagine, from tech to sci-fi, and, well, they even got some Jeep stuff over there as well. Fantasy, you name it, they've got it. To get you started, the XJ Talk Show has got your hookup. All you got to do is go to audibletrial.com/XJ Talk Show and instantly get one free title of your choice. Basically, any book they got on the site, it's yours free just for signing up for the free trial. That's audibletrial.com/XJ Talk Show. We got your hookup. They got you covered for entertainment. It's a win-win, guys. Go check it out.
Yes. audibletrial.com, XJ Talk Show. No dot. Just XJ Talk Show.
One dot.
All right, Josh, chit chat. We got to get that the little intro segment for the chit chat. I mean, I got that most of it. We need some more recording of the XJ and everything else.
I've got a long weekend, Tony. Today's actually my Friday. I'm taking 5 days off. It's been a while since I've had a nice long weekend, so I'm going to get out and do some stuff. I've got some work left to do on the Jeep still, but as soon as that's all done up, I'm planning on going out on a shakedown run. I'm bringing my microphone with me. I'm going to get some audio of some stuff that we're going to add a little more production value to the show and stuff as well. So,
let me just jump in here and say what everybody's thinking about your 5 days off. You bastard!
I put in my request back in November.
I don't give a damn.
Yeah, I've been with the company for a while now, and not that I get any special favors or anything like that, but my vacation gets refreshed in November, and I make it a point to, November 1st, start tallying up, looking at the calendar ahead and figuring out, okay, I think I want this weekend here. We're going to add, take a couple days here and end up with 6 days off. It works like that. I'm a cheap SOB. So, when it comes to things like taking time off work, my time is valuable to me. And so if I can get 6 days, 5 or 6 days off and only have to spend, 2 or 3 vacation days, hey, that's a win in my book.
Now, you're a cheap bastard. I can't believe you don't sit at home on your vacation days off and polish your Honda.
Too much stuff to do, or you polish the Honda. Good God.
I thought, wow, it's going to go right by. He's not even going to notice that.
No. There'll be no polishing on the Honda. That thing is not likely to get a bath ever again. I'm trying to make it as ugly as possible. People aren't going to steal that thing again. So, yeah, but. Hey, getting back to the whole production on the show and stuff like that, getting out and having some fun with the Jeep, guys, that's what we're here doing. We're just having some fun. We're just a couple of knuckleheads with Jeeps. We got a couple of microphones, and, well, hey, we like to do this kind of stuff. So Tony and I got the gift of gab, and we got a couple of microphones. That's all it is. That's all there is to it. We're just sitting here. We're just a couple of guys just like you, and we got a passion for Jeeps. We just happen to like to talk about it. So that's all it is, guys. And we're always asking you guys to join in on the fun, to, add some stuff to the show, get involved and stuff like that. And, some people out there, they might be a little bit worried. It's like, oh, well, this big professional production, whatever, guys, no, trust me. No. You can see my studio right now. I mean, look at this stuff here behind me. This is not production, professional quality stuff here that I have on the walls, guys. It's, it's pretty entry level stuff here I got going on. So, we're just having a lot of fun. Like I said, we're just a couple knuckleheads with mics, and we like doing what we're doing.
Yeah, the point is that you can be part of this show, and you don't have to be anybody special. You don't have to be anybody more so than what Josh and I are, just willing to make fools of ourselves in public. Is about what it amounts to. But if you've ever been out on a trail, you're already used to making a fool of yourself in public. When you get stuck and you got to get the winch line and spool it out while there's 4 or 5, 10, 300 vehicles behind you, just sitting there fuming.
Yeah, nobody likes pulling cable. I know.
So, yeah, that's all we're doing, and that's all we're saying. It's nothing professional here. We're getting a little more practiced with it and having a lot more fun. It's getting easier to do because don't have to think as much. It just comes kind of second nature. But so you can be part of this show in all kinds of ways. In fact, we'll have a voicemail here in a bit. Somebody asking how they would be a part of the show, and we really appreciate that. Chit chat.
Like I said, Tony, I've still got some work left to do on the Jeep. I going into this, I figured, okay, when I sheared off the track bar, or when the track bar sheared off the frame, I don't remember actually doing it. But when my track bar mount sheared off the frame, I figured, it's not going to be a big deal. I'm going to limp this thing home. I'll just throw a couple of tack welds on it, and I should be good to go. Maybe, add another bead or two. But it's ended up being quite an extensive project with just the amount of reinforcement that's having to go in there. I want to make sure this is done right. I don't want to have to go through all this again. And I certainly don't want that track bar to be, fully falling off of the frame. So, in order to do that, I'm having to do a lot of reinforcement, patching in some metal, things like that. It's definitely very time consuming. Having to do all the prep work, the grinding, the cutting, getting my templates all set up and everything like that. It's just, there's so much involved. I thought I'd be done by now. Spending a couple hours here, a few hours there, a weekend here, a little bit after work there. And it just seems like, I'm in the garage for 3 hours and nothing gets done. Because the Jeep is still sitting there and the track bar is still sitting on the ground. So, I've got a lot left to do, and hopefully I can get a couple, get these couple days off, get some stuff accomplished, and get my Jeep back out on the trail. So with you, I understand that you've got some stuff going on as well, as far as stuff on your own Jeep. I've definitely got my work cut out for me. I know that recently you went ahead and did a ball joint install. I know that we've talked at length quite a bit about ball joints and everything else, and I've done the ball joint swap myself on my XJ. My Dana 30 recently got a set of brand spanking new Alloy USA ball joints, which I've loved. They definitely took care of my issues that I had up front. As far as the swap goes, going from OEM to something aftermarket, I would highly recommend these guys. Tony got himself a set of the Synergy ball joints. And I'm not sure how his install went, but I know that he's got a video that he's going to be putting up on our YouTube channel. Make sure you guys are heading over and subscribing to youtube.com/xjtalk. And you're going to be able to check out the video that he's going to be producing here very soon. That's going to be, completely outlining the entire ball joint installation process on his own 98 XJ.
Yep, and you got to subscribe to YouTube. Well, you don't have to, but no, I'm gonna embellish that. You have to. You must subscribe to our YouTube channel, or you won't be able to see it. I don't know how we would accomplish that, but we're gonna lie and say that's what it is. Nah, help out. Come on, editing alone is reason enough to subscribe. Join those subscribers list 513. We want to see 1,000 on there at least. But finally got out there. I'll just say it this way. I finally got my ass out there in the garage and changed the ball joints. And it wasn't hard at all. The 98 was actually easier than the 99 because the 99, those ball joints didn't want to come out. I had to hammer it on one of those ball joints that it took out. Didn't have to hit it with the hammer once. It just started sliding right out.
Well, a newer Jeep, and it was harder. So on the 99, it was harder than it was on the 98. A year older Jeep, and the ball joints were easier to take out.
I'm seeing some evidence of that 99 that maybe it had sat in some water, or maybe it had sat for a long period of time and water sat on it for condensation or something. That I don't think it was like a salvage or a water damaged vehicle, but I see some rust on some areas of that Jeep that I don't see on mine. And like you say, it's a year newer.
Interesting. Now, you took a day off, was it last week before, to do this ball joint install. How long did it take you roughly?
It took me to Saturday because I didn't do a damn thing Friday. Actually, I spread this thing out over the entire weekend. I couldn't get my ass in gear to get out there on Friday. So it was like my Saturday where I just sat around, did stuff on the computer, stuff for the show, played around, did like yada yada. I'm always busy doing something. I'm just not outside doing something. And then Saturday, I'm like, okay, all right, I gotta go. I gotta do this. Josh is gonna come over here and do it for me if I don't get this thing done.
I'm going to be over there installing that air system and getting that air horn that you've had for 3 years.
Well, that's the plan for this long weekend is to get that installed. Yeah, it really is.
So are you going to be hooking up with Matt then to do that, or?
No, wasn't planning on it. Matt is going to be involved in. I need to get the air onboard air system installed so we can do the air lockers. Because that's what Matt's going to be doing. And we're going to be videoing that as well. And I'll have my hand in that, literally. But what I was going to say is, so Saturday, I got up and had my coffee and was getting motivated to go out there and get going on the passenger side ball joints. I was going to do passenger than driver. So at the crack of 6:45 p.m.,
oh, yeah, I thought you were going a different direction there for a second.
I got out there and started working on the ball joints. So I was done by 9:45 with that one side, and I thought, I ain't going to do this. I still have to run the air compressor. I got to run blah, 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 blah. It's going to make a lot of noise. I'll wait till tomorrow to finish up. So I finished up on Sunday, and I think I was out there by 3 on Sunday. And that one actually went a lot quicker. So it worked out fine. They're changed. I do not feel it wandering as much on the road. It still does it a little bit.
I was just going to ask, so what are your initial impressions, your first test drive, you got the thing all buttoned up, wheels and tires back on, pulling out the driveway. What were your impressions? What was the first thing kind of going through your mind as you started this up and started driving?
What the hell is all that popping noise?
Yeah.
I don't know why it was popping so much. I thought there would be less popping after I changed these things. Now I got something that's moving around because I can move up a little bit and hit the brake and I hear a popping noise. I can go back up and hit the brake and hear a little popping noise. So I don't know. I just have to get up there and look. Now, interestingly, and it's not in the show notes, but I'm going to say it briefly. I'm driving home day before yesterday, and I'm hearing a little air intake noise. And I'm wondering if maybe the hose for the snorkel came off underneath the hood. And as I'm driving home, about a 40-minute drive home, about 20-something miles, as I'm driving home, it's a little louder and a little louder and a little louder, and I'm thinking to myself, is a bolt backing out of the intake and exhaust manifold, because they're tied together on the block. And I'm thinking to myself, well, I don't smell any fuel. It can't be that bad. And it's getting a little louder and a little louder. By the time I get onto I-10, it's quite loud. And I'm thinking to myself, this reminds me of the good old days with my 327 and uncapped headers.
Oh, jeez.
So what it was I lost a bolt on the collector of the exhaust manifold, and one side had come completely off, and the other side was backing out. So there's no telling how long that bolt had been missing, but just from the rattling of the shaking of the Jeep and stuff. So I came home and was going to let the engine cool off, let the exhaust system cool off, find the bolts to get back in there and take care of it. Fortunately, the donut was still there. It didn't separate so far that went away. And again, I came in. I was going to give it a good hour to cool off. So I got out there at the crack of midnight because I had to have a nap. So I'm out there wrenching on my Jeep in the driveway at midnight.
Your neighbor's got to love you.
Well, it was just a socket, so it wasn't any air tools or anything. So
that's not so bad then.
Yeah. Anyway, fun. But the ball joints are installed, and the Jeep is punishing me for the amount of time I've put into it by dropping bolts. Oh, and interestingly, I have the what's the name of those motor mounts that I have? I can't. They're
brown dog?
Yeah, the brown dogs. Interestingly enough, one of the 8 bolts that hold that thing to the block was backed out a good 3/4 of an inch.
Ooh!
Yeah,
wow!
Yeah, I was really surprised by that. So I tightened that up. I would not have noticed that if the other bolt hadn't been missing. So.
The last few comments you made here kind of raises a good point, and I'm just going to kind of go into an impromptu Jeep tips, guys, and that is just routine maintenance, and just every time you guys change your oil, or if you don't drive your Jeep all that often, maybe every few months or something like that, really going through the Jeep top to bottom, bumper to bumper, front to back, and going over the nuts and bolts and things that you wouldn't ordinarily think of. I mean, sure, you're going to check your control arm bolts, your lug nuts, things like that, tie rod ends, all that sort of stuff. But things like exhaust manifold collector bolts and motor mount bolts, things that you would, you really don't think about all the time. These are the kind of things that you really want to go over and just, give a little turn of the wrench and just make sure that everything is all tight. And doing this on a semi-regular basis will really help keep your Jeep running the way that you want it to for a long, long time.
Absolutely. And now let's get over to our Radio CommTech. We got a bit of a treat because not only do we have audio, we have video for you audio podcast listeners. I'm sorry. And now it's time for some Radio CommTech.
Another warrior is on the mesa.
This is John, Pre-Runner 1982, and on the next couple of episodes of Radio CommTech, I'm going to be discussing alternatives for the CB radio. Today I'm going to be talking about GMRS and FRS radios, and next time I'll talk about MERS radios. And the reason I'm grouping the FRS and the GMRS together is because typically you find them as a combined radio or a dual service radio. They're commonly called bubble pack radios because they come in the hard plastic packages found at most general retail stores, Walmart, Target, and such. Both FRS and GMRS operate in the UHF frequency range, mainly 462 MHz and 467 MHz. With FRS, you're limited to a half-watt maximum output, and also the radio must have a non-removable antenna. They're typically advertised as a 30-plus mile range, but that's really under exceptional conditions, hilltop to hilltop with absolutely no obstructions, really rare conditions. Typically the range on this type of radio is about 2 miles or so. Now the benefit to the FRS is that it does not require a license to operate. With GMRS, you are allowed a 50-watt maximum output. However, since you typically find the GMRS and the FRS radios combined in a little handheld, that radio is not going to put out 50 watts. For GMRS, that radio is probably going to put out 2 to 4 watts. To be able to use the 50 watt max on GMRS, you're going to need a commercial radio that is Type 95 accepted. Now with GMRS, you are allowed to have a removable antenna, so it could be mast mounted or vehicle mounted. However, the GMRS and FRS radios are going to have to abide by the FRS rule of non-removable antenna. With GMRS, you also have repeaters, which can increase your range to about 20 miles. Though simplex range on GMRS is going to be about 5 miles handheld to handheld. GMRS does require a license, but there is no test. License is $85 and will last for 5 years. The license includes your immediate family, so it's not just for one person. Your whole family could take part in one license. Even though GMRS does require a license, the FCC has been discussing doing away with the license since about 2010. Unfortunately, as of today, that still has not taken place. GMRS and FRS radios are channelized much like CBs are. Channels 1 through 7 are shared, and therefore GMRS is limited to 5 watts. Channels 8 through 14 are FRS only, and channels 15 through 22 are GMRS only. GMRS and FRS also have subchannels, and the way that works is that the radio produces a tone for a certain subchannel that the other radio has to be looking for in order to receive that transmission. And what this does is allows multiple users to operate on the same frequency, yet not have interference with all the other users on that frequency as well, because each group is going to be using a separate sub-channel. That's really the basics on the GMRS and the FRS radios. Remember, next time I'll be discussing the MERS radios. There'll also be a link in the show notes to a write-up on xjtalk.com with more information. If you have any questions, you're welcome to email me prerunner1982@yahoo.com. And until next time, 73s, Prerunner 1982, clear.
Hey, John, we really appreciate that. It was very interesting. I had no idea about the MERS radio. I've been messing around with radios since I was, about 14 years old. And if you don't keep up with it, things really do change.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a lot of good information right there. And I can't wait to hear about the next segment. John sounded really good. Thanks for pitching in and doing that. Really love the slideshow that went along with the video on that. Guys, if you're listening to the podcast and you missed out on the video, some really good stuff right there. You got to go check out the YouTube video. Make sure you check out our YouTube channel, xjtalk, or youtube.com/xjtalk.
Yeah, if you can't be here for the live show, you can certainly catch the YouTube on Mondays. It releases at the same time that we release the audio-only podcast. Hey, Josh, I've been running the call-in number at the bottom of the screen, and we have a caller. Let's jump over there and grab that caller real quick.
All right, and while you're bringing that call up, I'm going to give you guys that number for the podcast. Write this number down, guys, because you can join in on the live show and talk to us live on the air, as it were. That is area code 267-507-0240, and you're going to need a code that actually hooks you up directly to us, and that code is 219835. Got a caller on the line. Who are you? Where are you calling from?
Gentlemen, how are you this evening? This is Dean Murray.
Oh, Dean Murray. Dean said he was going to call.
Yes. And we've been threatening to get Dean on here for an interview, and although we wouldn't have time for a lengthy interview tonight, Dean, haven't forgotten about you, buddy. We'll get you on here very soon for a full-length interview, as it were.
Looking forward to it, gentlemen. Looking forward to it.
So what's going on recently? I saw your latest YouTube video with the windshield, the replaceable windshield there. That was some really cool stuff that you did. How you liking the new digs in Texas?
I enjoy it. I actually have yet to hit really any kind of dirt here recently. I've got a little pasture next to my house that I've kind of messed around on, but I've got the option to get out this weekend to the Texas Off-Road Ranch, and I may trailer up and head that direction. But all in all, I really like Texas. One exception is that there's not any public property to just go off and ride on as there was in Alabama.
Yeah, we've got that here. All kinds of public land that we're able to use at our discretion. I definitely say we're very lucky up here in the Northwest in that regard.
Well, Dean, you're kind of close to Austin. It may be time to get somebody there in Austin to make a few changes in Texas. What do you think?
Oh, geez, come on. That'd be a drastic change. I think that's a lot to take on right there. I mean, it's a lot of private property, and I'd like to take advantage of it, but I don't really think that I don't want to have a gun stuck in my face. So I think I'll stick to the parks for now.
Dean, this is Texas. There's no guns here. What's wrong with you?
Come on now. Even I know better than that.
Trying to disparage the fine state of Texas. No, actually, we use handguns, and Dean, I'm sure you know this. They issue you a handgun. DPS will pull you over. If you don't have a handgun, they'll issue you one because we use them for lane changes. One shot's left, 2 shots is right. I forget. It's one or the other.
Oh, yeah. That's a good one there. Hey, Josh, what's the news on the throttle body? Tell me something good.
Oh, buddy, I wish I could. The Jeep has, been giving me some issues. Got that whole track bar thing that I'm dealing with right now, and it's taking up so much time. It's on my list. I promise you, it's taking dead center spot on my workbench. I'll actually take a picture of it here and post it up on xjtalk.com this week and show you. It's on my to-do list. It's really very next thing because I've got that throttle, or not that, I've got that exhaust leak that I've got to take care of, and I plan on doing all of that stuff at the same time. So things are slowing down a little bit at work now. I finally got out from underneath this big project that I've been working on for the last few weeks, and finally I think I'll be able to open up some machine time, and I'm fairly certain I'm going to be doing that throttle body mod on an actual CNC machine. So I'm very much looking forward to spending some time on that here in the very near future.
Actually, I have a free weekend. Maybe I'll just hop on a plane and come out there and help you out.
And light a fire under my ass and get my butt in gear.
All right, I want you to remember this, hypocrite, whenever you start giving me a hard time about my air horn.
Oh, I know. I deserve that. I deserve that. Yeah.
I'm going. He doesn't.
And I'm a little disappointed that Tony didn't give me a shout. I mean, I'd have made the hour-and-a-half trip down to Houston to help him out with the ball joints. I actually enjoyed that, meeting you for the first time and putting a little wrenching time in.
Dean, do you understand that if you came down here to help me, that my wife would have me cleaning the garage for 8 hours prior to pulling the Jeep in and doing the ball joints? But other than that, I would have loved to have you down there.
Company's coming. Better clean the garage.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I look forward to meeting you. I hope that we get an opportunity to ride together. Maybe shoot some footage and post it on both of our YouTube channels. And I really do look forward to that opportunity.
Now, I haven't mentioned this to you, but I was talking to Matt the other day, who's been to Tor a few times, and frankly, that's the only place he wants to go from now on. And I said, I actually pulled up the map to find out where College Station was in relationship to where Tor is, and said, oh, well, that actually is a pretty good spot for Dean, pretty good spot for Matt. Not so good for me because I'm a lot further south than Matt is, and, of course, you. So, yeah, that's kind of the plan. We need to work out a wheeling trip up there to Tor, and I was kind of hoping to do it after I got the lockers in, but we may have to do it prior to that.
Oh, I agree. There's a lot you can do with open differentials. I mean, let's not, I would get lockers, but don't hesitate to go riding before those are installed. I mean, we can get out and turn some tires, and it's actually fun to go out with open front and rear differentials, in my opinion.
Oh no, I mean, I'm just saying it'd be fun to actually, because I've got the ARB air lockers laying here on the ground. It would be neat to be able to use those for the first time at Tor, but then again, it might be kind of fun to go out there and try it, do it before and after type thing too. So it doesn't matter. Just I'm ready to get out. I had a lot of problems with overheating on the highway and oil leaks and all kinds of crap, and that's all been taken care of. So I'm anxious to go someplace. I do need to put the transfer case skid on there, but other than that, I'm pretty good to go. Especially now that I got the ball joints in.
Well, there's nothing wrong with a little bit of armor underneath, especially to protect the transfer case. So I do agree with you there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, Dean, thanks a lot for calling in. We're gonna move along.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, we're going to move along. We're always a little long on the show. We just get too involved in this. But thanks a lot for calling in.
Well, I appreciate you taking the call, gentlemen. Great show, and I look forward to our future time together, and riding and potential interview. It sounds very exciting. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Dean. Take care.
Hey, and you guys need to get over to YouTube and see some of Dean's videos. That windshield thing. Don't you just hate Dean with all the work that he's done to that Cherokee?
Plain and simply, guys. If I got 2 words for you: Jeep porn. Seriously, I mean, Dean Murray's YouTube channel, Jeep porn, right there. Enough said. Really, go check out his XJ. It is a piece of work. Oh my goodness, that thing is sweet.
Yeah.
So Tony, let's move over. Let's talk about things that are cool. Let's move into these reviews that we got. We got a ton of reviews coming in from you guys. We're only going to pick out a few here. Look, iTunes has been blowing up lately. We've got dozens and dozens and dozens of 5-star reviews. You guys have been doing awesome on that. Please, if you haven't already, you know somebody who enjoys podcasts, likes Jeeps, turn them on to the show. Get them to hop over there, give us a 5-star review, and leave a comment. We'd love to hear from you guys or your friends. Stitcher, huge right now. We're on over 50 playlists currently, and the numbers just keep adding up every week. And, of course, tunein.com. More followers keep tuning in every week. You guys have got to join the crowd on that as well. So we got one here from xjtalk.com from Slippin' Kramer. He says, howdy. I'm here because I discovered the podcast several weeks ago, and I love it. It's filled with real off-road information that's hard to find elsewhere. I've been working my way backwards through the episodes. I'm listening to number 86 right now. Tony and Josh, you guys are to be commended on the quality of the show that you produce week in and week out. I work in radio, and I know that it's not easy what you're doing. You make it sound easy, but it's hard as heck. You guys rock. I do have a Jeep that I drive and wheel a lot. It's not exactly a Cherokee. Well, it is a Cherokee. But only if you're in Brazil or Venezuela or some other third world country. Up here in the good old U.S. of A., we call it by another name. So awesome. Slippin' Kramer, thank you very much for the kind words. Very much appreciate that. And thank you for your support.
Yep. Whenever he said that he knows how hard a work it is, a little tear came to my eye from all those sleepless nights of editing and trying to make the audio quality sound a little bit better. Hey, we got another one here from Facebook. Kelly Indahar. Yeah, I did that right. Listen to the most recent podcast. Very entertaining. Digging for more episodes. Good job, guys.
And good job getting that review in through Facebook, guys. Any number of our social media sites through, whether it be Twitter or Facebook or whatever, even through xjtalk.com, like Slippin' Kramer did. Just leave us a comment, bound and determined to get up on the show here for you. You'll definitely be able to hear it on the air as long as you write it in.
And now we're going to have to take a little break because I got to pull the voicemails over. Bear with us, guys. Get these voicemails queued up, and we'll move right along.
While Tony's doing that, I'm going to go ahead and give you guys that voicemail line. It's 530-675-4102, 530-675-4102. I've transposed those first 3 numbers a couple of times before, and you'll end up getting a hold of some Oregon educational department that probably would not very much like to hear any words from you whatsoever. So please call that number 530-675-4102. It's a 24/7 voicemail line. That means nobody's ever going to answer the phone. You just call, it picks up. You're going to hear some, the words and the beep and all that good stuff. And well, just speak your mind. And whether it's Liquid Courage, 3 o'clock in the morning, a butt dial, hey, we'll take it. And we'll get it on the air, of course. You guys don't have to worry about, keeping it clean or anything like that. We have the power of editing, the magic of editing, and we can clean things up and edit it up. And whether you sneeze in the middle of it or you drop the phone in the toilet, we'll take care of all that stuff. So,
well, we won't take care of replacing the phone. So be careful, Butterfingers.
Yeah.
But
audio, we got the audio part covered, but the phone replacement, well, that's up to you.
But also too, if you don't like the first recording, call back. We'll use the last best one. So don't worry about how you're going to come across. You'll sound great. Hey, this is Tony.
And this is Josh from the XJ Talk Show. We want to thank you for calling our 24/7 voice line.
Yes, we do. Just leave your first name and your question or comment.
There's no guarantee, but we may play your message on the podcast.
Oh, and don't worry about keeping it clean. We'll take care of that.
Now it's your turn to speak at the beep.
Hey, this is Nikki G, and I just want to congratulate all the upcoming graduates this year from either high school or college or wherever you may choose to get your education. And I would like to encourage all people to enroll in engineering classes. I would like to see the automotive industry taken back from foreign countries and brought back to the United States, especially get Jeep out of the hands of the Italians. And I like to also remind everybody that Nikki G is available to speak at your commencement ceremonies.
Oh, geez.
I know I can't be everywhere at once, so those of you who are unfortunate enough that you're not able to book me, I'd just like to give you this advice. Eat right, get plenty of sleep, and don't drink your chemistry set.
No.
And also, never take a crap. Always leave it. All right, gentlemen, I'll chat you later. Have a good one. Bye.
Can't go wrong with a potty joke.
Words of wisdom and great advice by Nikki G.
And by the way, guys, Nikki G is Italian, so he can say that.
Oh.
he left that out.
Hey, this is Zach, XJ1993. I'm trying to figure out how to send in a pre-recorded voicemail, but I'm not sure if there's an email I can send that to or just what. So if y'all could let me know, that'd be great. Thanks.
So that's a great question, and that's part of what I was talking about earlier about people getting involved in the show. And what we do is we actually use Dropbox to get those segments in. A pre-recorded voicemail, I mean, it could be just a voicemail like what you're doing here, or it could be a segment that you do for us, or maybe just an interview, an impromptu interview out on the trail, anything like that. So what we encourage everybody to do, of course, is being involved in the show, but what we encourage people to do is send us an email to segments@xjtalkshow.com, and we'll be happy to get the information back to you. We'll set you up a little account there where you can leave a file or two or whatever on Dropbox, and then we get it, we edit it, and we stick it in the show. It's easy, wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. It works out really good that way. Emails are very convenient, but you often have limits on the size of the file that you can attach, either the email server you're using or the email server we're using, so it's just best to just upload it to Dropbox. So that's how we handle that, and that's a great question. We really appreciate that because it goes right into what Josh and I want. It's more people involved in the show.
And that was a great sounding voicemail there. Was that a SpeakPipe voicemail by chance, Tony?
Yeah, I was going to mention that. He came in on our SpeakPipe, which you can do on our XJ Talk Show website. It's a little thing off to the right-hand side, middle of the screen. You click on that. You can record straight from your PC. I'm sure you can do it from your laptop, your tablet, whatever, straight to us.
And Zach, thank you very much for that voicemail, and looking forward to hearing some stuff from you in the near future.
And now, Josh's Subconscious.
Oh, boy.
And now, another message from Josh's Subconscious. Yoo-hoo! Oh man, I can't believe my Honda Poo got stolen again. I think I'm going to have to change the name to Virginity, so that next time somebody steals it, some guy will be stealing my virginity. I envy that car because some guy keeps putting all their stuff in the trunk. Plus, it's had more guys handling its stick than I have. It's just not fair. At least I got the alarm fixed so it'll go woo, 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 woo if it's ever fondled again. I should change the alarm noise from a siren to recording me going, oh yeah, oh yeah, a little harder, oh yeah, just like that. Oh well, toodaloo.
It's uncanny how science has progressed to the point where they can record your subconscious, Josh. It's amazing. What a world we live in.
Good times. Good times. Yeah, my subconscious, gets out of hand sometimes. Oh, gotta love it. Guys, you can get involved in the show just like that. You know, we love the Josh's Subconscious, Nikki G, all the good stuff. The interviews. Got to give a big thanks out there to Chris and, of course, David as well from Full Metal Badges for joining us, and big thanks to Dean for calling in as well. All you guys out there, all of our listeners, thank you very much for tuning in every week. 10 p.m. Central Time, YouTube. Make sure you're checking us out. Check out the live show. Check out the websites as well. Hop over to xjtalk.com. Check out everything the site has to offer as far as Jeep tech goes. And, of course, if you want the entire show archive at your disposal, please head over to xjtalkshow.com. And, it's all everything's there for your listening pleasure.
Hey, don't forget to check us out on Facebook, Twitter, Stitcher Radio, TuneIn.com, iTunes, YouTube, the websites, just like Josh said. It's just amazing, Josh. We're everywhere.
Yeah, we are just about everywhere, guys. And make sure you are liking us over there on Facebook. You got to join in on the fun a lot. If you like the show, you like what we're doing here, make sure you're turning a friend onto it. You know, we got all kinds of links we can share and stuff like that. Make sure you're spreading the word about the XJ Talk Show.
Yep, and be a part of the XJ Talk Show. We really, really like that. We appreciate John, Pre-Runner 1982, going through all the hard work. We'll have another segment from John on the Radio Tech next week, part 2, and looking forward to seeing that one.
Absolutely. And guys, make sure you're giving that 24/7 voicemail line a call at 530-675-4102. And our live call-in number for all of you podcasters out there, make sure you're joining in on the live fun every Thursday night, 10 p.m. Central, 267-507-0240. The special code you need, 219-835. And don't forget, next week returns the Amazon You Bought What segment.
Yep. Oh, and also, too, we got a really interesting interview that you're going to want to listen to. It's about a nice little XJ that is going to break the 11-second quarter mile.
Ooh, fast XJs. Now, that's what I'm talking about, guys. You like XJ speed? Well, Jeep speed, that's some cool stuff right there. Join us next week for a really cool interview. You guys can figure out, well, exactly what's going to be going on.
I'll tease it a little further. No turbo, 4.0 liter, nothing modified, really nothing, no turbo, no blower, no nothing, 11 seconds. So look forward to that one.
11-second Jeep Cherokee. Awesome.
Have a great Jeep week, guys.
We'll see you.
xjtalk.com is where you go when you're not off-road. And now you can go to xjtalk.com when you're off-road too. Using your smartphone, install the Tap a Talk app, then search for XJ Talk. Take XJ Talk with you wherever you go. Jury duty, dinner with your spouse's parents, even, well, anywhere you need your XJ Talk fix.
Okay, so like we did last week, I'm going to go ahead and open up the phones. So in case anybody wants to call in, didn't want to be on the main show, but still like to call in and chat with Josh and I, we're going to be here for the next few minutes so we can record our promo. And you know, Josh, something that was driving me nuts. One side of one channel, my right channel, is about 4 dB quieter than the other one.
Just in your cans, or are you talking about actually?
No, go into the recorder. Driving me nuts. It's almost like having too much earwax in one ear.
I mean, you sound balanced on my end.
Yeah, I think it's mono to you through Skype. I don't think they do stereo.
Yeah, that makes sense. Oh, I got to get some shelves or something in here. I've got to open up some space so I can stretch my legs. My studio is getting a mite bit cramped. I'm actually thinking about redoing things quite a bit in here, and that's really kind of, when you mentioned the green screen coming, that it's kind of lit a fire under my butt. That I've got a buddy who works for an audio company. They do high-end home theater stuff, and they're moving their facility, and they've got a bunch of like cubicle dividers. And it sounds like I might be able to get my hands on some of those, temporary wall structure type things. And I was actually thinking about, kind of redoing the walls and stuff in here with those. And that would not only give me the, the sound dampening that I'm looking for, but also get rid of, the hanging blanket look, and maybe give me a chance to clean up some of this, foam on the wall type stuff as well. So, much more professional look coming. Obviously, the green screen is going to take care of a lot of that unto itself, but this also gave me a chance to sort of revamp my studio a little bit and make it a little bit more user friendly in here. Because right now it feels like I'm in a closet.
Well, I bet you the cube would actually work well for sound dampening, because you could put stuff on the cube and even probably put something over the top of it. Although I guess that might block the light.
Well, I think there'll be like 6-foot ceilings, and right now I'm probably sitting at about a 4.5-foot level or something like that. So it's not going to be too bad. I mean, it really all depends on whether or not I can get some air circulation going through it, how many of the panels I get, and all that stuff. So right now it's kind of all up in the air. But nonetheless, as soon as that green screen gets here, I'm going to kind of gut the studio, with the exception of obviously how things are wired up and whatnot. Excuse me, and kind of redo some stuff in here. So it may look quite a bit different in the next couple weeks.
So got an email just maybe a minute ago from Chris. Said, just wanted to say thanks again for having full metal badges on. We'll keep you posted about our progress, and hopefully we'll be back.
Yeah, way cool. Hope so too.
I am going to get up and walk over to the back of my, I was going to say equipment, but the people in the chat room would make fun of me. I'm going to walk over to the audio equipment and wiggle some connectors and see if I can make this thing balance. There's no reason. This isn't a stereo microphone. There's no reason for one channel to be different. And yours is fine. Everybody else's is fine. It's just my mic is lower on one channel than the other.
Interesting. I'm going to go ahead and just kind of go over the obvious here, but do you have a balance on your mixer that might have gotten bumped or something?
There is no balance.
All right.
I mean, there's a level.
You don't have a pan?
No. I mean, I've got the slider, which deals with the audio level. Let's see. No, that. Oh, wait a minute. That's what it was. It's one of those little pots that's going nutty. So I thought a pan would be a slider, but it's not. It's this first one right here at the bottom.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, mine's kind of, well, I've got a gain, and then the next one up is pan, but it was basically the same as balance.
I've never messed with those, so that's what it was. Because I'm nice and balanced now. My wife will be happy. Well, actually, she won't, because then she'll be wrong. No,
I'm getting a bunch of flack on the YouTube comment section right now. Josh is in a closet. Come out of the closet, Josh.
Well, if you didn't have that, if you didn't do those Josh subconscious, that you wouldn't take that kind of heat.
Yeah, no.
Hey, I'm really excited about you getting that green screen. I'm hoping that we can use the same background, and then when I go to your shot where it's just you by yourself, we've got this seamless background between both shots. And,
that'd be cool.
And we're separated by thousands of miles. I think that's really cool.
No doubt. How big is it roughly?
It's 6x9.
Oh wow. Geez, I was thinking 4x4 or something.
I was
a
little concerned it was going to be too small, to be honest with you. But you can make your own joke there. But because the one I got behind me is like 12 by 15 or something. It's huge. But these things are expensive. The one I have is like $40.
Oh, okay. So
I was trying to in my mind think about what kind of space you have back there. And if you put your arms out side to side, that's a good 6 foot 3 inches, but it'd be the other way, right?
Yeah, no, I mean it would be.
No, man,
I've got a 6-foot banquet table here in front of me is what everything is set on, and I'm a few inches from about a fist width from the wall on my one side, and then I've got another 6 feet out, so I've got about 6 feet 3 inches, 6 feet 4 inches or so, from edge to edge, and then obviously 8-foot ceilings, and there goes my fan. I took your advice and put a fan under my desk, and I've already knocked it over twice tonight.
Did it help?
Yeah, just about that much. I've got it on low because I was really worried about wind noise. I had it pointed up just slightly. There's a couple times that it just caught the microphone just right, and I got a little bit of that type of noise, and so I'm trying to keep it in check, but any moving air, honestly, in here is better than none. And even replacing the light, there's with the audio gear, multiple monitors, the laptop, the computer, everything is just running warm, and all the insulation and everything in here, it's got to be 85 in here easily.
Well, I think I neglected to mention to you the primary thing that you have to have along with that fan. It's crushed ice in your underwear.
I was going to say no pants, but yeah, we're on the same page.
No pants, surprisingly, is not as cool as ice in your underwear. That should be the name of a band.
Ice in your underwear.
Oh, I would keep wanting to mention this. If you guys would like to call in, like I said, you didn't want to be on the main show, you can call in. I've got the line open and the channel's unmuted, so you call in, start talking, and we'll hear you. Now nobody's going to call.
Heart Theft is just on one tonight. This guy is just he is on point. He's like, how big is it roughly? Josh, you're literally give me ammo. How much room back there? He's cracking himself up, honestly. Oh, geez, there it is.
Well, I control myself most of the time, so there you go. I got to play it. You got to press those buttons occasionally.
No, I'm getting requests to wear a kilt now.
Oh, that's just nuts.
Yeah. Well, depends on the camera angle. Yeah, it would be.
What's wrong with what's wrong? That's on the floor. They get hairy. That's why. But well, I think that interview with Chris went very well. I like the way the back and forth of us both being able to interview somebody. I guess one of my concerns was bandwidth, but that worked out just fine. I mean,
it did, didn't it? It worked out. I was really worried there as well that there would be a lot of fade outs, that there'd be echo or drop offs or things like that. And honestly, it went very, very well. So yeah, for not really experimenting that much at all with it or anything like that. I don't know if you did anything on your own as far as, setting up a couple of Skype calls really quick and just kind of testing it out. But really, Tony, kudos to you for making it happen. And it worked very, very well.
Yep. And actually, Chris was on the line over an hour because he called in 9:35 or something, my time. So, I apologized to him, but I said, I have so many things to do here. It's going to be very difficult for me to get you on the line. So the only thing to do would be to have you there and get you set up and make sure the audio levels were right to start with, and then just go to you. So that's what we did, and he was a trooper and worked out.
So I'm wondering, I'm a little bit concerned though with why it wasn't popping up the notification when I was calling you though. Was it maybe hidden behind another window, or did it just not pop up at all? It was too many Skypes going on at once. The
Skype's running on the laptop. I mean, his Skype was on the laptop because I need a separate audio channel, a separate way to connect. Otherwise, I mean, you can only run one instance of Skype on one PC, as far as I know.
Mm-hmm.
So I was actually doing that from the laptop. I don't know why yours wasn't popping up. My understanding, or at least the way it always has been in the past, is it pops up on top of whatever's on the screen. So
it should be coming up dead, front and center or whatever, whatever active monitor you have going. I'm just wondering if it was on a monitor that was, sort of in your peripheral at the time or something like that. You didn't see it. That's no big deal. We connected regardless, and and obviously the interview went off very well. But I just hate for to think that no, geez, here it is, it's 10:02, and Josh hasn't called in. We got a live interview going on, and stuff like that. So
well, I've missed your calls before because I was busy working on something and didn't see it like over on the left hand monitor. I was working on stuff, talking to Chris, and so I'm sure that if one distraction keeps me from seeing the call, two certainly would. So it didn't look like anybody else is going to call in.
That's all right.
Yeah, just give them the opportunity. Now I see there's several people that I've interviewed in the past that we can call on Skype. Yeah, Jesse Ryder. There is the name right there in Skype. It's Jesse Ryder.
It was Jesse.
Yeah. Oh no, Jesse. I thought it was. I think so. I just couldn't remember his last name. So yeah, Jesse Ryder. That's the guy that we did the interview with, and we're going to have that interview on the show next week. Oh, one thing I did do. I got another Cisco Catalyst 2950 10100 switch. These things retailed for about $1,500. And I picked it up off of eBay for $35 shipped.
Holy cow.
Because it's 10100. It's an older technology, but they retailed for $1,500. The reason why I got this is that I already have one up in the rack. Oh, actually, I had one in the rack here next to me. And looking at it, I learned that it has 1 gigabit, actually two 1 gigabit uplink downlinks, so that you can use a 1 gigabit backbone to tie multiple switches together. So I thought, even though I'm still going to be doing 100 megabit, it might be good to tie this one that I've got my computer attached to and the laptop attached to, tie it to another one that's in the rack that hooks to the internet, and have that 1 gigabit link between the two of them. I'm not going to get more than 100 megabit, but there's going to be less contention for bandwidth over that 1 gigabit link. So it's always possible that that's one of the reasons why things worked so smoothly tonight with the two Skype calls and broadcasting to YouTube and so on and so forth.
You already installed it?
Yeah, I've had this thing for at least a week.
Oh, okay.
So I have not been on the switch to look and verify that it's a 1 gigabit link between the two, but that's what it is. I mean, that's what the jack is, and it's linked and it's green. So my assumption is that it's 1 gigabit. It's a level. Is that right? A layer 2 switch. So it does all kinds of fun things. It could just mean that there's less packets traveling between the two because it's not necessary. It's only passing the data that it needs to. Of course, that's what a switch does. But Cisco makes good stuff. So just think it's really cool that I got this one. And actually, this one costs more. I bought the other one with two other pieces of Cisco equipment many years ago. Got the whole shooting mats for $50. Just had to drive to Baytown to pick it up. But I'm wondering if it's what's causing I'm getting a little background noise. I think I might need to put a panel up, a little fiberboard panel, light the styrofoam, not fiberboard, the styrofoam on the side of the rack here on the wall, because I'm hearing a bit of a shh in the background. I think it's that fan coming off the switch.
Yeah, it could be.
Okay, well, nobody's going to call in. I think I'm going to wrap up the conference call here.
All right. Boy, the chat tonight is just on fire, though.
Oh, that's great. Love to see that. Always love people having a good time. It doesn't matter if it's directly through us or just because of the show. So, guys, we're going to wrap it up. Wow, been broadcasting here coming up on 2 hours. So that's a lot of good fun for you folks that are here early and stay late.
Dean Murray says, Tony, just start prank calling people.
Let's see. That really reminds me. I think I did that back whenever I was like 16, 17 years old. and I had my CB base station, and I made my own phone patch. So
wow.
Yeah, and what I would do is I would call, of course there was no caller ID back then, so you could call people, and I would be transmitting on whatever channel 20, whatever one we hung out on, us kids, and around the neighborhood, and you could hear me on the phone talking to them, and it was being broadcast out. I mean, it was just really the forerunner for what we're doing right now.
Yeah, really.
Because all the same technology that I was using then, so many years ago, I'm using now. I'm spending more money on it. Yeah, I've been messing with this stuff for a very, very long time, and getting in trouble. You know what I forgot to do? I did not get me a beverage.
Well, here I've still got a little bit to wrap up here on the script. So, if you want to shut things down and then go grab a drink or something like that, you got the time.
Yep, that's what I was thinking about doing. So, guys, thank you very much for being involved with the show tonight. Thank you so much to Chris and to Pre-Runner, of course, Rob. Beautiful timing on the on the subject matter, tied in beautifully. I probably shouldn't have said anything. I just would have felt guilty if I'd acted like we actually did that on our own, Josh. So I had to say something. Thanks a lot for joining us tonight, and we're going to wrap up this post show, and Josh and I are going to record our promo. Don't forget to let people know about the XJ Talk Show. We'd like to see our numbers continue to grow. We'd like to have a nice 45-degree ramp, so we can articulate the show properly.
Yeah, there we go. Nicely done, sir. Nicely done.
So keep telling, if you haven't told anybody, tell them. Damn it, it's not something you got to keep to yourself. This isn't that text chat that you're having with the 18-year-old girl on Facebook. Share it with the world. Anyway, I'll see you guys next week, and I'm pretty sure Josh will too. We may have a different kind of background for Josh. And
next show, yeah, look for it.
Yeah, and since I'm at the controls, anything could pop up behind Josh.
I didn't even think about that. Oh. I'm going to have a master override switch somewhere. I don't know. All right, guys, we'll see you next week.
All right, guys. Later.